Hey, Jesse here with Tiny Ida Homes. I'm the owner of Tiny Ida Homes, but here at Tiny Ida Homes we're going to start a series called Ask the Builder, and we're going to start with Series 1 being the foundation, which is the most important part, being for us, the trailer. So today let's go over us building the trailer and some of the reasons we do it. So first I'm going to state Tiny Ida Homes is registered with NHTSA, and we are a member of NATM, which is National Association of Trailer Manufacturers. So we build to a standard there, built to a DOT standard also. Whether you buy just a trailer from us or we build you a complete tiny house, whichever way it goes, it is a certified trailer. So let's start at the front. Every component of a trailer has to be labeled for that weight of that trailer. For instance, the tongue here that we weld on, it is a weldable tongue. If our tiny house is 12,000 pounds, this piece has a weight rating on it, and it should be rated for at least 12,000 pounds if that's what our trailer is rated for. For instance, this one has 7K axles, so it's rated for 14,000 pounds axle capacity, so we want to make sure at least our tongue is rated for that. Our tongues here are rated for 21,000 pounds gross vehicle weight. So anyways, that's our tongues. Make sure your tongue is rated, whether you're buying from us or someone else, your tongue is rated for that cargo capacity. All of ours comes with a crank jack on the front. We do a front crank jack instead of a top mount because our trailers have these tabs welded on here, which is accessories for multiple different types of air conditioners. So it's set up, even if you don't purchase an air conditioner, they're welded on that way so you can add one at a later date. These ones here are set up for a mini split or say a Climate Right or many different brands. All of our trailers come with a 7-pin connector because our trailers come with electric trailer brakes. The wire goes down into a junction box. We also have a junction box here that has a battery in it. This battery is for the trailer breakaway system for the trailer brakes. This is your trailer breakaway switch. If it for some reason comes disconnected of your pickup, it'll pull this and it'll send a signal to your battery, which then locks up your brakes so your trailer doesn't keep rolling down the freeway. Keep in mind, if you tow trailers long enough, every once in a while you might hook up, the brakes might be locked up. Well, first thing to look is for this item right here. You could have stepped on it walking over the tongue or something. They plug right back in, which then make sure your brakes aren't locked up. Another important factor is safety chains. Make sure your chains are also rated for the load of the trailer. A lot of times you'll see trailers, excuse the traffic going by. We're outside in the very cold weather, so a lot of trailers you see, big old trailers with tiny houses built on them with very, very skimpy chains. DOT standards, your chains also have to be rated. Every function on here has to be rated for the weight of that, whatever you're building on this trailer. So, big beefy chains. So there's our chains. As a standard, we weld on this front bracket on all of our trailers. When we build, this actually holds a propane tank we build a cover over. So this is a propane bracket out here. Another thing, if you'll notice underneath the trailer is crank jacks. These are stabilizer jacks. Our trailers come standard with 4, 1 on each corner. You get the crank jack handle with that. If you're buying just a trailer or a tiny house, it comes in the tiny house. So a big question asked a lot is if we use strong ties or hurricane clips and whatnot. We weld our bolts on. As you can see, we got some bolts around this entire trailer. We weld our bolts onto the trailer frame. So your bottom plates when you put your bottom plates on, they actually bolt through the bottom plate, they bolt through your floor, and everything. So ours are welded on. You put them down the trailer depending on where your doors are and floor plan layout. Another thing I forgot to mention, when we're under here, all of our trailers come with tie downs. So if you do decide you want to tie it down, you're not going to move it very often. You got these nice big heavy duty hooks under here to tie it down. So we're going to move the camera a little bit so I can show you the floor of this, and we'll probably move back by the fenders here. So let's rotate to the back. So we're talking about the floor. We use a box tubing and a C-channel for cross members in our trailers. The bottom is a galvanized metal we weld in. I do not silicone down all around the bottom floor, because if, the same reason I don't spray foam it either. If for some reason you flood your tiny house or somehow water gets down in there, it needs a means to escape. If we were to silicone this all in, or seal it all in, if water gets in here, there's no way for it to get out. Mold's gonna grow. Moisture, you know, airflow, you know how that works. So we do not 100% seal the bottom, but we do overlap our metal. So as you're pulling it down the road, water won't force its way in. It's overlapped the opposite direction to come out. So as I mentioned before, I also do not spray foam the floors, because I want that moisture and water to get out in case that happens also. So you can see these bolts all the way throughout. I happen to know the door on this one's going right here because of the spacing of the bolts. So I said I don't seal the floor. I do seal right around this fender right here because of the way the fender's angled, so water doesn't force its way up here. So right here I do have sealant, but nowhere else. One thing we do is we put this flashing on our fenders. It is welded on and sealed very good up and around our entire fenders. The reason for that is we build up and around this fender. This flat part right here, there is a little exposed afterwards that water can sit, and you do not want it to seep in. It could seep in into your walls and down onto your floor. This prevents that. So our 2x4 wall comes up along the side of this flashing. Our Tyvek and stuff and siding comes on the outside. This is just a flashing to help prevent any moisture from going in around the fenders. As you can see here also, we got little LED lights. Something I don't like on tiny houses is big bulky lights all around for DOT, for highway stuff. So we use little tiny LED ones, try to hide them as much as possible. Keep that house look and not so much a trailer look. So as I stated earlier, these are 7K axles. We're going to slowly move back towards the back of the trailer too here.
You ready?
Yeah, come on back. So we got 7K axles on this trailer. We do 6Ks. We do also do 8Ks. I'm not a big fan of triple axle trailers because one tire is always rubbing around as you're making corners. So I tend to do heavier duty axles with 2 axles as opposed to 3. It'll save you tires, it'll save you wearing on the tires, and they're easier to tow. So again, you know, 7K axles, good axles there. And we'll walk around to the back of the trailer to show you another feature of our trailers too. Okay, so you notice LED lights down here that are built into our back bumper, as opposed to lights being mounted onto the tiny house. These are built into the trailer. They are LED. This wire is for a license plate light. I just don't put it on till very end because my guys tend to break them. So that will get installed towards the end of the build. This pipe right here, we add this pipe in for our wires to go down for our upper trailer lights. So we just pop this light out and hardwire our lights, our upper lights, running lights, whatnot, through this pipe. So then if for some reason you have to fish wires later and stuff, it's an easy way to do that. You also notice our jacks on the back, and again we paint all of our trailers and our spray booth here. So this is a standard trailer from us, and built just for us. 2 foot on centers. Everything's built for a standard that we like. It doesn't have a cross plate. We do have a tube steel on this exterior for load bearing, as opposed to a lot of people use an L metal. I'm not a big fan of. We do get insulation out to this outer part, where some of our competitors don't. So we got 2 structure members. This one run all the way from the front to the back, and these ones here obviously go into the fenders, but this is where most of the load goes. So we use that instead of that L metal. And then again, bolts all the way around this trailer. So that's a standard trailer from Tiny Ida Homes. We do sell just trailers. If someone is looking to do it yourself and just wants a trailer. So this is series 1 of Ask the Builder. Please refrain from asking about framing and finished stuff, as we will go to the next section, which is framing. We'll talk about that. So if you got questions on trailers, feel free to ask, and then next week stay tuned for the framing section. Thank you.